Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Good morning. It is Coffee and time here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Joe Callahan, full Coffee and table this morning. Let's say good morning to John Ward. Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone.
And how are you today there, John?
It's a beautiful morning.
That's right.
Oh.
Tim Draper's here from Navigant Credit Union. Hey, Tim.
I can't follow that, but hi, everybody.
And Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning, everybody.
And it is time for our first message from the St. Antoine Communities right off the bat.
Yeah, I always like to just make sure that for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, that you have a little bit of information. So we are a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield, and we're right on the line of Blackstone and Woonsocket. On our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skill care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab facility as well as 2 levels of memory care. So if you are interested in learning more about the services that we provide or even understanding the process or the steps necessary to place a loved one when the time is right, you can reach out to me at 401-767-3500. Be happy to walk you through your options.
Very good, Melissa. Thank you very much. And John Ward has stepped out of the studio for
Got
a
his
minute.
coffee in his car.
But you know,
Priorities.
But no, you know how you can tell he's going to come back.
How come?
His phone is still here.
That's true. His phone and his notes.
He'll be coming back for that.
So when he threw
I almost did coffee in without
coffee. How do you
Oh my
do that?
gosh!
Impossible.
Can't have that.
That's the name of the show.
I thought he was leaving in a fit of rage. His chair went over.
He popped up out of that chair pretty quick.
Really angry about something.
It's amazing how fast he can move when he wants to.
Well, you didn't want anyone to steal the coffee, so.
There is no rage in me.
All right. So, Melissa, Dave's whispering to Melissa.
Okay.
This might affect you a little more than the guys because we got this. I don't know if you got this thing from North Smithfield
I
Fire.
sure did.
There's a new scam alert
boy.
that North Smithfield sent out, and somebody or some organization is calling different businesses in North Smithfield, and they're claiming that they represent the local fire department, and we're going to do an inspection, and the only way you can pass the inspection is you need to buy 3 fire extinguishers and 3 smoke detectors. Now, we happen to have them right here for sale.
Of course you do.
Wow.
But what tells you that it's a scam right off the bat is, one, you can only pay with Bitcoin.
Oh,
Right away. Red flag.
Get
Ding, ding,
out.
ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding. It's just
Just come
no,
to the credit
so no.
union so we can go, I'm sorry, all we have is cash.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the fire department, North Smithfield Fire, and Woonsocket too. It might cross over.
A little spread.
Yeah. They want you to know no fire department will demand payment via cryptocurrency. They would like cash.
Right.
The other thing is,
Yeah, they're not gonna
fire
do that
department.
either.
The fire department doesn't sell these things to you.
No, they're not
They're
a
not.
retailer.
They're not the retail business. So
Right.
no, they're not doing this.
Right.
Legitimate inspections are always scheduled through official communication and include proper ID as well. And so remember, don't send them any money. Report the incident immediately. And you can always call the fire marshal as well. So it's just something else. Did you get a call for this? Do you know?
I did not. I got the
No?
email as a
Okay.
resident in town, and I laughed out loud because I remember being told years ago that they actually prefer that you not even have a fire extinguisher in your house because people waste more time fumbling trying to figure out how to.
Figure it out.
They
How to
need to
use
worry
it.
more about evacuation, and they
Okay.
can properly use it. And so yeah, I mean, I have one in my house. We used to have a wood stove, so we have one just in case, kind of thing. But I've always told my girls like, hey,
Don't worry about
if,
it.
if there's a fire, just
Of course,
Get out.
Of course,
And grab the dog.
That was a firefighter telling her that, who was also an insurance agent on the side.
I mean, it's good to have the fire extinguisher in the house, but the problem is, and
Yeah.
Tim, you're going to agree with this on this. You know, sometimes the fire extinguisher is sitting there 5-10 years.
Right.
Now it's
It's expired.
expired.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
And it's now,
Yep.
even if you do
Yeah, you
get
gotta
the pin
keep
off
replacing
and
it.
try to point it at something, nothing's coming out.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing I've seen that may make sense, and I can't say this for certain, and maybe a firefighter you talk to can agree or disagree, is those blankets that
Yes.
they sell.
Yeah,
that you
actually,
can
they
the
just,
work.
little towels.
that you can just drop
Yeah.
over the
Occasionally
fire
use one.
and extinguish the fire.
Really?
I have had
Small-
Tell
occasion
us
to use
about
one
that,
of those.
Tim.
Like
Yeah.
a grease fire?
Give
No,
us the
we-
build up.
we,
Give us the story. What were you making, and what what
What
went wrong?
It was we were using a this is we bought this potato cooker at a craft fair in Cumberland, and you put the potato in it.
you peel
sweet
it first?
potato. Nope.
Okay.
In the skin, right in the thing. You put it in the microwave and you cook it.
All right.
Well, we did that a couple times. It worked
Did
great.
you wrap it in tin
On
foil?
the but on the third time we tried it, it was unsuccessful, and all of a sudden the microwave started to fire up, and it was
Wow.
like holy mackerel. So I grabbed the microwave. Actually, I was out of the house. My wife unplugged the microwave and took it into the garage because the fire was in the microwave. And then when I got home, I got there, I pulled the tray out of the microwave and then took the blanket, threw it right on top of it,
Yeah.
put it right up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I'm like,
You
holy
heard
cow,
it here
that worked.
first, folks.
And
Worked.
You
worked
don't
great.
have to fumble with that, like trying to figure out how to make it work. It's
Yeah.
just
Right.
throw
Put
it on
just
top.
Right in
throw
the
it on
drawer
top
next to the oven, and
And I feel
There
like
you
for
go.
kids, that's an easier instruction too.
Yeah.
Than
Now,
pull a
not to-
pin.
Not to criticize Tim.
yeah.
But she brought the burning microwave from
Out to
one
the
building
garage.
to another
I
building.
know.
Why
Well,
not leave it
You
in
know
the-
what? When
in
you're
the
in a moment
driveway?
of
To the
panic
street.
and,
I know.
and
You're thinking- not
unclarity,
thinking-
I was more mad that she even touched the microwave. But
Oh, yeah.
you know, she was like, "The kitchen's
gotta
just
get
got redone. I'm not going to burn the kitchen."
You know what's
All
funny?
That's
Oh,
fair.
And the smell.
Yeah,
she was
that's
thinking of
fair.
the smell.
Right.
Yeah.
Take it right out.
It's like as bad as
right.
burning popcorn. It's just
Well, just
stays in your
just be aware in North Smithfield, someone from the fire department calls. They're targeting businesses. I mean, they wouldn't call a house to say, "Oh, you got to have this, that, and the other thing." Targeting business, just something to be aware of.
Wonder how
Okay,
much the extinguishers cost.
it doesn't say how much you got. It is.
How many bitcoins you
Yeah.
Really coin with Bitcoin.
Yeah, and we're gonna ship it FedEx, so it sounds all official.
Oh yeah.
But you got to make three separate payments using Bitcoin in order to quote pass the inspection.
Amazing.
So
I
I
would
hope no
love-
one has fallen for
I
this.
would love to get one of those calls so I could figure out what kind of accent is in the person that's calling.
Where are you, by the
I
way?
had some
So-
fun with some, I'll call it South Central Asian person who
All right.
was soliciting something. I have no idea what, because I never got there because
his
the
name
accent, the accent was so thick. I just
Yeah.
tried
I don't
to
even know what you're talking about.
mimic it
Back,
back
to
to him.
Oh, they probably don't like that.
Didn't last long.
All right. Can I gloat for a minute?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh,
All
gloat?
right, I'm
Gloat
gonna gloat.
away.
Yes, I am going to gloat. I knew after working all those years down at McCoy Stadium that there was
A time-
a
Oh,
time
yeah.
capsule,
Yep.
a second time capsule
For the
for the
big
longest game.
Yep.
Yes.
And I knew it was near home plate.
Mhm.
And I wrote to the mayor of Pawtucket and I said, I know it's there. And please, don't cover it up. Someone's going to find it. And he got back to me.
Yeah.
He said, I'll pass it along to who's ever doing the digging.
Yeah.
And we'll be looking for it. And then it became a news story.
Yeah.
After that. And a former Pawtucket pitcher, because I'm not the name, he's the name.
Yeah.
They went to him and he said, yes, there's a time capsule there. And so yesterday they found it.
Yep.
Oh,
They did.
I did not
So
hear
yes,
that.
yes, they
All
found
because
it.
of you, Joe.
Well, I don't know if it's exactly
Well-
because of me, but I'm just
All
going
the
to take full credit.
memorabilia from the longest game.
Yeah,
Right. But it's in a plastic PVC pipe.
it's in a. I don't know if that's plastic. It might be.
Well,
it might be
whatever
steel.
it was. We
Yeah.
did a time capsule for the credit union for 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
And it was a steel box or stainless steel box
I think this was
with a
steel.
gasket on it.
Oh, yeah.
And you put everything in it, and we put all kinds of stuff in it from the first 100 years of the credit union. And then we buried it in the front yard under the flagpole. So we know where it is.
But I would think PVC with caps with the glue that the plumbers use would
Must
keep
be
it
fun.
watertight.
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
Seeing as
But,
it
It
works
didn't
for
seem like
plumbing.
didn't seem there's a lot of space to put stuff in it, so it's probably
yeah.
like a
There wasn't.
program book. and
It's a lot of papers.
Newspapers and yeah.
Keith McQuarter, who was the pitcher, he laughed. He said, "I think there's actually broken baseball bats in the time capsule because they were burning bats to keep warm
Oh.
Oh, geez.
during
Oh, that's
on
funny.
that April
Isn't
night."
it
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
it was April, right?
It was April, yeah. So they would burn. They'd get a barrel and they would burn. If you broke your bat, great, more firewood.
Right.
But I don't think there's any bats in there. So
Well, they're
it's
going to
all-
open it on the anniversary, right?
Both of them.
Of the last of the final inning.
Yes, June 23rd. They didn't-
okay.
I'm not sure where. And in the article on Channel 12, they're not telling you where the time capsule has now gone.
Right.
It's in a secure place.
Yeah.
I do not have it.
It's in the mayor's. It's in the mayor's basement.
So I'm certainly glad they found it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
before they,
no, it's good.
Before they
I,
started.
I'm still an
doing what
advocate
they're
for
gonna
what
do
I
in
said a couple of weeks
field.
ago when I said
that?
about where you should put a time capsule, like my granddaughter's school, where you walk into the new school and the time capsule of all the old school stuff is in a wall.
yeah.
And it says time,
Time capsule right on it. so,
No digging involved.
so we know
Just
exactly where
right-
it is.
Look here.
And
Don't
we-
have to worry about where you put
Does
it.
it say do not open until
No,
when there's
it's
a date
just-
on it?
It's just, I think, so that they don't
Forget
lose
about it. Okay.
Forget
Oh my
where
God.
it went.
It happens,
I still think they need to take, and it might have been your idea, take the old home plate from McCoy Stadium and somehow put it in like a courtyard at the school.
Yeah, or
as you
wherever they're
walk
building.
into the front door, put home
Yeah,
plate
well,
in cement.
And maybe they are. I
If
don't
the
know.
architect is designing the building around the layout, if you're at some intersection in the hallways, it might be where home plate was, put home plate
Well,
there.
true, yeah.
And
if they can fit it into the design.
I didn't have time to read the story, but the stadium is down.
Yep.
But what's still left are the 2 foul poles, and they're staying, and they're integrating that. And I
that's
said
interesting.
into whatever they're building. I'm like, I didn't read the article. It's on Channel 12's website, I think. And if you want to go look it up, and just this, they've got an idea of how to use the foul poles.
Oh, that's
in
interesting.
in
That's
the new
fun.
high
Maybe
school.
labeling parking lots.
You put a
Yeah,
room.
maybe.
Parking
You put a
lot
room
field,
off to
parking
the
lot-
side,
Yeah.
and you use that as the detention room for all the foul balls when they screw up. Send them over there.
That's such a dad
Smart
comment.
thinking.
That was such a dad joke. Oh
All right.
boy.
We did get a note. It was called in to me yesterday, but I didn't get to it, so we're going to get to it today. And just doesn't really affect you, Melissa, but it's kind of in your area. The person, there was an article in the Providence Journal on May 25th from Paula Spahn, KFF Health News. They said they found this interesting, and it's calling people 80s and up. Okay, either he or she sweetie or honey, or using the "Are we ready for our pills today?" or "How are we thirsty today?" Like they're teaching, like you're talking to a toddler. Although the recognizable aids have agreeable intentions, there's a falseness about it. It doesn't make someone feel good. It's actually
Condescending.
alienating. Do you feel it?
100%.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you-
More so in memory care. We do a lot of training on appropriate language in memory care.
So you've shied away from that kind of thing.
This is not a new thing. This has
not.
been going on for years. Yep.
then maybe it's
Appropriate
just-
in services and
Okay.
training upon hire, and then reinforcing every year. And
Okay.
So now we can only hear it from waitresses and diners.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I'm so
People make it-
sensitive
maybe
to it.
that's
It
it.
drives me crazy when
Really?
I even and I really do like
What
the
can I
Dunkin'
get you,
Donuts over
sweetie?
here. I really do. They're very kind and sweet over there. But when they say sweetie to me, it just
Really?
gets my
Okay.
back up. And ma'am. But that one I get now. I've
You look
crossed
like a
over
ma'am.
from Miss to ma'am, and I understand that.
Well, maybe it's
But-
happening. You said diners, John, but maybe it's also happening in hospitals.
sure.
Are we ready for your pill? Are we ready for your pill? What are you taking?
Sure, you take it. I don't want it.
I'm not justifying it in an environment like that at all, but I feel
Yeah.
like when it's more of a revolving door of patients and you're just trying to be kind and connect, and you're not remembering everybody's name because it's just another patient, maybe. But in terms of long-term care, yeah, it's necessary to establish first name basis with your folks.
You mentioned that I brought something note. And it's great news for Melissa because an expert in the field.
I am cringing on this, by the way, for anyone
cringe.
listening. When John comes in and says, "I've got something for Melissa,"
I subscribe to a daily
feel so-
email from a electronic news reporting thing called Rhode Island Current, and they do announcements about certain things that are coming up each day. And I found
All
this
right.
one, and I had to share it because it's so important that this expert specialist is going to solve this problem. The Rhode Island Attorney General, Peter Nerona, will unveil a slate of healthcare initiatives at 10:30 a.m. at his South Main Street office in Providence, with the stated intent of providing immediate relief and long-term options for problems plaguing Rhode Island healthcare system. Well, there you go.
So is this going to be like a 3-day press conference?
That'll
Because
fix.
I'm not sure.
That'll fix everything. The Attorney General / lawyer is going to solve
Fix it.
the healthcare problem in the state.
Can't wait.
Oh, great.
Can't wait.
They must be
Make your
providing.
job so much easier now.
I mean,
Must-
right?
must be-
Definitely.
Must be offering printing presses to print money.
We've been
Hey,
waiting
there
for
you
someone
go.
to solve all the problems. So I can't wait to hear them. You said 10:30?
10:30.
Get that TV cranking.
All right, we're gonna take a break, but Melissa, back to the sweetie thing. This happened years ago because you don't see too many full-service gas stations anymore. But I was out of state somewhere getting gas, and the attendant was a female. How much gas do you want, sweetie? I'm like, boy, I'm just didn't cringe. It's just something I'm not used to hearing. It's like, wow, and okay. But I've also seen on the internet people they film them, and they're at a restaurant, John, and they're filling out the here's the amount, and for the tip they put 0, and then they write underneath it. Obviously, it's from a woman that says, "Don't call my husband sweetie," and then so the tip was 0. Like, wow,
that's
just
tough.
something to remember if you happen to be a waitress.
One way to slow it
You
down,
just never know.
is, personally slow it down, is you give it right back. What are we going to have today, sweetie?
Well,
I don't
we're
know
gonna-
about you, honey,
Yeah,
but I'm having my medicine.
Yeah.
But if you were at a restaurant, how would your wife feel about it if you said that back to some
She'd
random
understand.
waitress? She
My
would.
wife knows me well. She'd understand.
Oh, well, okay.
I think we would all understand.
God, I'm going to say it again. I really would like to meet your wife. I think there's a lot of ground to cover. Can she sub in for you at some point?
She what?
Sub in.
Chair.
I actually feel like when we plan that day that we've been rumoring about for years with Amanda and I, we're going to invite John's wife in.
Posted bail. Well, has she?
All right, Melissa, time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities, then we'll take a break.
Oh, okay. So I've talked about it the last 2 weeks, but I kept forgetting to bring my flyers in. And I'm going to be leaving some here actually in your lobby if you allow me to. But we have coming up our longest day event. It's on June 25th at 1 p.m. For those of you that remember me talking about it in past years, this is our now fourth annual longest day event where we've sold purple pinwheels, and we've invited folks to come and make a donation to the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association. And you can write a little message on the purple pinwheel, and then we assemble it and display it on our walking path for the big event on June 25th. So we're just really demonstrating support for the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association, as well as raising money for them and then having a little fun. So on that day, we'll have live music, refreshments, praying for good weather. So if you are available to come and join us that day, great. If you're not, but you still want to support it, you can stop by either one of our reception desks at either the Villa or St. Antoine residence and purchase a pinwheel and write your message. We would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you.
All right, Melissa, thanks. The Coffee and program will continue. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ON is always
a pizza
on.
that turned out to be not quite what you expected? Order from Ollie's Pizzeria in Woonsocket and taste the difference local love can make. Not only do Sam and Tina live in, work in, and love Woonsocket, they know exactly what it takes to make you the perfect pizza. That's because they have been making pizzas since the 1970s. Sam and Tina have made and served over 2 million pizzas with their combined experience. So they know what it takes to make the perfect pizza pie. Taste the local love that has customers coming back for more and more at Ollie's Pizzeria, 204 South Main Street, on the corner of South Main Street and Front Street in Woonsocket. Ollie's.
All things vintage and collectible can be found at Timeless Antiques and Collectibles. The 3,000 square foot store is packed with unique treasures from days gone by, including rare coins, vintage jewelry, and much more. Whether you're a serious collector or just looking for a one-of-a-kind gift, Timeless Antiques and Collectibles has something for everyone. Frank and Tammy Irwin are always on hand to answer your questions and help you find exactly what you're looking for. And with new items arriving regularly, you'll never know what kind of gem you'll discover. Visit Timeless Antiques and Collectibles, 91 Main Street, Woonsocket, and step back in time.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery
The
platforms.
Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Local and live at 99.5 FM.
It's Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Melissa Smith, Tim Draper, and John Ward. In case you haven't heard, the Autumn Fest Steering Committee has selected a Grand Marshal for 2025, Mike Hiru. You guys know John, do you know Mike?
I do.
Okay. So he's been quite busy. 36-year career with the Rhode Island National Guard. He's Sergeant First Class and big into scouting as well.
Big, yeah. Oh, that's what he's huge scouting. He is Woonsocket scouting.
He's the
these
scouting.
days.
He's the
For
scouting guy.
For many of mostly the last 20 years.
Yeah.
He's the scouting guy.
Yep, and also part of the St. Joseph's Veterans Association, American Legion Post 85, and the Woonsocket Elks of Lodge 850. So, very busy man, and so we congratulate Mike Hiru for being the 2025 Grand Marshal. All right, let's get your opinion on this. There's a bill at the Rhode Island State House. They want to establish a purple alert system in Rhode Island, and it's going to the Senate. It passed the House to create a system to help quickly find missing adults with serious disabilities whose health and safety is at risk. All right. It's a good idea, but we already have an Amber Alert.
What's the difference?
And we got a
between that
silver
and
alert, and now now they want to have a purple alert. Okay, how about just an alert? Who's ever missing?
We have a
It's
missing.
just an alert.
Right.
I don't have time to keep track of colors.
Yeah.
I know. I can't just do a silver alert for everybody.
Make it for everyone. Yeah,
Because-
pick one color, and we're done.
Yep.
Because legislators
Need something to do.
have more feelings than you do.
Obviously, John, you're right.
Good Lord. What's the matter with you?
I don't know.
You sit there and go, okay.
Have you
let's
no
see now.
compassion, sir?
Silver alert.
I'm
that
not
means it's
saying-
an old person. I'd be looking for an old person.
Well, right.
You're right.
An Amber alert. Kid. I gotta
Right.
look for kid.
All right, but where does it stop?
All right. It
Orange
stops right there.
and-
Kids,
and red.
Amber Alert, kids,
Yeah.
senior, silver alert. That's it.
Well, this
Done.
is for people in the middle.
Yeah.
Is why they're doing
Call the police. Call the FBI.
Yeah.
it. Okay. It's people with serious disabilities whose health and safety is at risk.
Missing person alert.
Just the fact
Well,
that
there
you've
you
used
go.
the term serious disabilities tells
Yes.
me how is it that they became disengaged from the rest of humanity?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. So,
and why would it ever happen?
but I'm sure.
If they have serious disabilities.
But I'm sure this
Are
is
you
going
talking
to
about
pass.
people who fall through the cracks?
Pardon me?
Are you referencing people who fall through the cracks?
I'm referencing people like who are perpetually in wheelchairs, who struggle to walk, who have internal health issues that are debilitating. Which would, I mean, how serious is serious?
I don't know. It doesn't go into
I
that
think
kind of
maybe you're
explanation.
referencing more of like adults with mental
must be
health, like
They-
people
they-
who are really
Probably.
troubled and
This is based on that girl that was
Must be
in the
related to
car for a couple days after she went missing. I think she had
You're right.
on the spectrum. She might have had autism, and she went with somebody her caretaker who left her in a car
Yeah.
for 3 days until
And so they're
finally
looking at
somebody
people.
found her.
They're not over 65, but they're in
Right.
their 20s or their 30s
Yeah,
or their
but to John,
40s.
for the very beginning, why don't we just call it a missing persons report? What's
that's
it's
it.
an alert. It's a well, just pick one color, amber. It's an amber alert for somebody
Everybody.
who's missing.
Yeah.
Here's the description.
that
Here's
make
the person.
Wouldn't that make more
Do we
sense?
really need 19
Do
different
it, yeah,
colors?
just
Yeah.
do it like they do it on that TV show,
Which
Missing Persons or whatever the hell it is. It's got Scott Conn on it. That's, James Conn's kid.
All right. This was not you, Tim. This is good. But a 68-year-old Cumberland man.
Oh boy.
All right. He suffered
It's
minor.
definitely not me.
68.
I
I'm
know.
not 68 yet.
He suffered minor injuries. He's riding his motorcycle in Bellingham, and it collided with an SUV. I don't know who hit who 1st It doesn't say, but he collided with an SUV and he fell off the motorcycle. However, the motorcycle kept going and hit a house. Which I think is
Holy cow.
so on Center Street. I'm not quite sure where Center Street is in Bellingham. I don't know how. Well, he must have been going a certain speed.
I guess the bike balances itself once it hits the speed.
Yeah,
right?
and it just kept going, and it went straight, and it ran into a house. No one in the house was injured.
Yeah.
And no one in the car. I guess everyone in the car is okay, and he suffered some minor injuries because he's the one that fell off the motorcycle.
Yeah. That's just how do you
Don't
how
know
do you
where Center Street
how do
is?
you hit somebody that and then they fall off a motorcycle because you got legs on either side?
And you just fall backwards.
I don't know. I
Or fall
witnessed
forward.
a motorcycle accident on Route 1 in Attleboro, and it was one of the most, I shouldn't say the most, but one of the most horrific accidents I've ever seen. But he was probably about 100 feet away from his bike.
Yeah.
So he definitely flung off. But
Well, if you're going fast enough, you'll skid down the road.
Was he in front of the bike or behind the bike? though?
In front. It
Yeah.
looked like maybe he was about to take a turn and someone clipped him. However, and he must have flown. But I will just tell you that was
He kept going.
Disturbing.
The bike didn't.
next level. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The bike stopped. and he
I
kept-
cringe.
didn't-
Motorcycles, I get the whole like joyride thing. They scare me on the highway.
Yeah.
Never seen without a helmet, the weaving, and I get it's a thrill ride. I totally do, but it's
but
putting a
you
lot
know
of
what?
people at risk too when you're weaving in and out. And
those crotch rockets that weave in and out of traffic and run between lanes.
I look at that as
those
different.
those guys are begging for death.
yeah, it's not just the retired guy in a big Harley
Yeah.
cruising
That's-
back roads
right.
up to New Hampshire, just enjoying the fresh air. Like it's a different type of driving. And
That is,
it's
yeah.
scary
Not
stuff.
going to say the term, but classic FAFO.
Oh wow, there we go.
All right, there's another bill. This one's a little better than the alert one, unless you don't think so. I mean, you could have a different opinion. A bill requiring all new school buses in Rhode Island to be equipped with video recording systems is headed to the House. The systems would have to be installed in older buses by July 2032. The video will record violations such as when a vehicle goes by a stopped bus with its lights flashing. Supporters of the Senate-passed bill call it a critical public safety measure to help keep children safe.
Can I tell you what I found the most disturbing about that?
All right.
Was that when they did it in Cumberland, how many people pass a school bus with the red lights on?
Yeah,
It's a
well,
lot.
I
Like, are
like
you
it.
kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like over 100.
That's perfect
Yeah.
legislation. Why they're putting it out to 2032?
That's for
is
old. No. That's for old buses going to be.
I don't
equipped.
care.
Okay. Too far
They
out.
should all be done.
Too far out.
Okay.
Should be done by next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Old buses, new buses, no matter
Doesn't
what.
matter.
I mean, Cumberland
By
did it
next
in
year.
6 months, I think.
Absolutely.
All
Can be
right.
done.
Melissa, thoughts? So you okay with this?
Oh no, it needs to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
But you
Again,
know-
how do you pass a school bus with the red lights on? That's just crazy.
Well, I was thinking of this very thing yesterday because I encountered a bus. I forgot which intersection I was at, but as I came up to the intersection, a bus was coming up to the intersection. There were parents on the side of the road that were going to be waiting for their children to get off the bus. The bus had yellow lights flashing as he approached the intersection. I approached the intersection and I stopped.
Mhm.
He stopped, and I waited. Countdown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody's getting off the bus. The bus isn't moving. The yellow lights are still going. He didn't wave to me,
No.
but it was clear he was waiting for me to go by him
Before he put the red lights on.
before he
and
put the red
put
lights
the
on.
stop sign.
So
on.
I
Okay.
went by him,
Yeah.
and immediately as I got even with the bus, the red lights were flashing, which means they only turned on the red lights to open the door
Yeah.
as I went by
By
the
it.
front of the bus. Now, would that have taken a picture of me and sent me a ticket?
I don't know.
Yeah, might
They would have to be careful with something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
proceeded with great
When
caution.
they put the red lights on, though, the stop sign still comes out the side of it.
It comes
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
So it almost feels like that needs to happen with more of a time lag than the door opening. Like,
Well, whatever. I think it all triggers when he hits the handle for the door to open it. When they go to open the door flips a switch or something, the stop sign comes out, the lights go red, the whole bit.
yeah.
But if somebody is doing what I did and proceeding cautiously through the intersection, making sure that the red lights were not on, and then have the red lights on, I could see the red glow coming as I did that. It's like, all right, would I have gotten a ticket in that
Yeah,
situation?
but if you've stopped,
Because I would have gone to court and talked to the judge about it.
yeah, I mean, if you stopped and then the driver should have realized that you were not going anywhere. You were clearly following the
I was
rules.
stopped.
Because the amber lights are on, so let's open up the door and then get the red lights flashing.
So that expense of adding the camera onto the buses, is that now a town expense, or like DACO, for example, with their
That'd be the
contract?
bus
Are
company,
they
but it'd
absorbing
be
that
added in.
expense and making?
It'll be part of a new contract.
Well, who knows if it'll be really a new expense because once the cameras go on, the bus monitors are not needed anymore.
That's not true.
I disagree.
I
They
heard,
need to
but I heard
chaperone.
I heard yesterday that the monitors are off if the cameras go in.
I wouldn't agree with that because it would have to. I've always advocated for cameras replacing bus monitors, but only if the cameras. You would have a bay of about 6 different images around the
Your
bus.
bus.
That would include the underside at the back. It would
Yeah.
include the underside at the front,
Yeah.
and then you would have cameras for cars that pass the bus. Wouldn't disagree with that, but I don't think there's that many cameras here. But
I think it's the passing camera.
I think so.
yeah, it's just sort of on the side of the bus to
All right.
catch somebody.
I'm used to just driving so much in Massachusetts because there are no bus monitors in Mass.
No, there are not.
They just use the stop thing, and they got a big yellow
How
arm
many
that comes
accidents
out
happen
too.
every year with
Well, I don't-
students in Massachusetts that get hit while
I
they're
don't know.
getting off of buses? Be
I
interesting
want
to
to have that
to hear
information.
You were just actually, I thought you were going to say what I was thinking, which is I'm surprised that all this is happening before they've even still mandated seatbelts in every seat in the buses.
And that to me
Well,
is
they've
why
tried.
I think they've done tests that have shown that that's actually more dangerous than not
Really?
having a seatbelts. Just pad the seats well, and it's probably safer than seatbelts in order to evacuate the bus in an emergency.
All right, break time on Coffee and it's time for a look at the forecast, which is being brought to you by unbound.org.
More clouds than sun today with a high of 76 degrees. Tonight, a 50% chance of showers, cloudy skies, overnight low of 55. Thursday's weather, 60% chance of showers, cloudy skies, high of 62. A quarter of an inch of rain is possible Thursday. Thursday night, 60% chance of more rain. Friday, mostly cloudy with a high of 75 degrees. Friday night, 50-50 chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Saturday, 60% chance of showers likely, mostly cloudy and 71. Sunday, mostly sunny and 69. Monday, mostly sunny and 72. And next Tuesday, sunshine and 77 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies and 62 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor, an elder in Guatemala. Dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
They've reopened. The Museum of Work and Culture has reopened. That's great news. The museum is resuming regular visiting hours, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., Tuesday through Friday, and 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Come explore the lives of immigrants at home, work, and school through the museum's 9 immersive exhibits. Admission is still just $10 for adults, $8 for students, seniors, and veterans, and free for children 10 and under. And free audio tours are still available to all guests. Tickets to the Museum of Work and Culture can be purchased at the door or online at rihs.simpletix, that's Tix.com. The Museum of Work and Culture is located in Market Square, 42 South Main Street, Woonsocket. Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here. John Ward is here. Melissa Smith is here. Tim Draper is here as well. And time for first message, Tim, from Navigant Credit Union.
Joe, we have a new product that we've tied to our online and mobile banking platform. It's basically, you can get your credit score 24/7. It's powered by a company called Savvy Money, and it's available to customers through online and mobile banking. It's a free service, and it's going to help you understand your credit score by giving you all the access to your full credit report. So customers are going to have access to financial tips, education, credit offers based on your credit score, a credit score simulator so you can see what you need to do in order to get your score to go up. We have credit monitoring alerts and more. So if you are afraid somebody might grab your identity and try to put a loan in your name, this alert would pop up on your phone and tell you that you've got something going on crazy. So credit scores, credit simulators, get your credit report, see a monthly payment history in your credit utilization, just all kinds of great features on this. You can find it on our website at navigantcu.org. Just go to digital banking and you will see all the great things that Savvy Money can provide.
All right, Tim, so the first question that comes up with that is if you go to the credit bureaus and you look for your credit score, it actually affects your credit score.
No,
does Savvy do that?
Soft pull versus hard pull. So soft pulls don't affect your credit score.
Right.
And the credit bureaus, this is powered through TransUnion, so it's coming from the credit bureau. You're not going to get it affects you when you are trying to get a loan or a credit card, and not through a credit card offer that came to you, but through I went to a site, I filled out a form for a credit card, then they're going to run your credit. That's when it affects your credit score. All these other services that are monitoring, it's a high-level monitoring. They don't really affect your score at all. It will definitely have an impact on it, though, if you choose an offer that you've seen somewhere on one of these sites.
Okay.
So, don't people ask the question a lot because, hey, I got a free credit card offer in the mail, right? They've told me that I'm already qualified, which means they've already looked at me.
They haven't.
They've looked at some high-level stuff.
All right.
That give them a sense that you're going to be okay. You still have to go through the process, and they still have to. They'll tell you at that point that they're going to pull your credit, just like we do at the credit union when you fill out an application for a loan. Then we'll tell you that we're pulling your credit, and we have to let you know that. That's not anything to worry about. It's not affecting your credit score.
All right. Well, that's good to know. All right. Up in Massachusetts, they're implementing. John's already looked it up.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good score too. Holy mackerel! Must have no debt and a lot of money.
That was a bragging moment. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't as good, he wouldn't have showed it to you.
It's a 503. I don't think my
darn thing is broken.
That's right.
This thing stinks.
This can't be right.
Spasm.
He held it up high enough for all of us to see. I'm just letting you know.
Well, when you have a credit score like that, you want people.
You want to
Well,
brag.
you're going to hope you have that credit score at your age and in retirement.
Right. You don't have any debt. Just any people.
Do you need a new car, John?
You'd be amazed at how much money people from banks want to throw at you when you have that kind of credit score.
That's right. All right, up in Massachusetts, they're implementing a 2-year pause. You might like this, John. A 2-year pause on electric vehicle sales requirements for manufacturers unable to meet minimum sales compliance under the Advanced Clean Cars 2 program. Can you follow that? I don't. Should I read it again?
Yeah, one more time. I'm just kidding.
You know what my cartoon friends would say?
What am I right?
Well, Governor Healy up there in Mass said the pause will give car makers more time to invest in their manufacturing and supply chains, and she said that will help ensure additional affordable electric vehicle options at dealerships in the future.
I just have one question.
Just one?
I've said this before. When I watch crash tests with various vehicles about the core structure and how it survives in crash, and every one of those I've watched from time to time, when they get to a Tesla, the truck slams into it and it bursts into flames immediately. And my question is, does every electric car burst into flames when they're in a serious accident? I ain't buying one if that's the way it works.
The last I knew,
That's an interesting point.
the last time I knew, when an electric car caught on fire and the firefighters arrived to put it out, they just said
Let it
they don't
go.
even throw any water on it.
No,
just
nothing.
keep everyone around. It's too hot. The battery that's on fire is way too hot.
They need a really big version of that blanket.
That big blanket is right. So, but I don't know if they all burst into flames when they were involved. In
I
the
was
crash.
more amazed at a buddy of mine at work has an electric car, and he was having trouble with it. He actually getting it exchanged on a lemon law in Rhode Island.
Wow.
But he said that the problem is one of the motors in the back on the needs to be replaced because it has a glitch in it. And he said that to buy that motor new is $18,000 for the motor.
Yeah. I've heard that.
That's more
How
expensive than
it
a
is.
car motor,
Yeah.
like a gas engine.
Yeah.
Then of course we got into the discussion about I'll never buy a Tesla. I'm like, oh, okay. I know why you're not going to buy a Tesla, but that just doesn't make any sense to me. If the car's good, the car's good. But he's trying to debate whether he's going back to a gasoline-powered car because of the cost of repair.
Yeah. It's
Now there's not a lot of parts.
right.
It's one of the nice things, but the car weighs more because the battery packs are huge. They're usually underneath the floor. And then you get the motors, depending on how many motors that you've purchased, how fast you want to go.
Maybe that's what more Healy's trying to get at. And maybe if we wait 2 years, batteries will shrink and things will become less heavy. And
I think they will. I
become
just
more
think that's natural.
affordable.
Right, they definitely will.
So there's more work to be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're shoving everything down the consumer, so it's so fast.
Yeah. It's electric. It's great.
Yeah.
Take it.
Right.
Take
Well, the infrastructure isn't quite prepared yet if everybody had an electric car, so we'll phase it in slowly.
The only place I see like charging stations are dealerships.
Well, I will say that
Nursing homes. I've seen them there.
I don't know,
but not out there in the general public.
I don't know if most electric cars have this, but I know that Tesla does because my buddy has a Tesla. That it will tell you, based on your charge in your car, where the next charging station is that you should stop and
it'll
charge
tell
up.
you.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
You plug in your
Well,
route.
that's
Say
a
I'm going to
big
go to
help.
New Hampshire, and it's going to tell me, all right, at the Hooksett Rest area there are 12 charging stations, and 4 are occupied right now. So if you get there, you'll
There's
have
one open. Yeah.
Right. And it will tell you that for if you wanted to go to Canada, it will tell you that right up into the Canadian border.
So if you do that, how long are you parked and charging for?
Half an hour?
Yeah, I think it's for a Tesla to get to some reasonable charge, You're never supposed to fully charge an electric car. Do you know that? When you're just using it around town and stuff, only supposed to go to about 80%. And then if you're going on a long trip, you fully charge it.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just the way the battery works, I guess.
By the way, ChatGPT says that it's not common for them to burst into flames.
Oh, you can rely on that. Okay, well, that's
There we
good.
go.
Well,
You're
it
one
just,
of those people, huh? You type in every kind of random
Every question. Oh, I do it too. I gotta find out.
You know what I found out? Watch, this will drive Melissa. She'll think it's
I
wonderful.
I find it hysterical. I have a coworker who
get
uses it
I don't
like
have
a
the
friend.
ChatGPT app, but apparently if you get the ChatGPT app on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
you can take a picture of something like your living room
Yeah,
and
and
ask
it'll-
it to redecorate it for
Yeah.
you, and it'll show you
wow.
Yeah.
what it suggests that you do to decorate a room.
See, all that is very normal stuff to me. Like using it for that kind of functionality.
Yeah.
But when I have a coworker who's single and needs dating advice and is asking every kind of
Oh my
question,
gosh.
and you're like, it's not your best friend.
I
Like, what are we doing?
ChatGPT
She's
for
like, well, they're
dating
unbiased.
advice.
They're giving me unbiased advice. I'm like, it's a computer.
I saw a funny little story too about how young women these days
Mm-hmm.
are taking selfies and asking ChatGPT if they're hot.
What's the
Why don't
answer?
you? Can you do that right now
No.
and ask them what they think about you?
I don't have a ChatGPT app. I have just the web version.
Do we need to explain to the listeners? Do they know what?
ChatGPT.
No, I think they do.
Okay.
But,
it's open AI. It's
right.
Artificial
Now-
intelligence.
No, instead of Chat GPT, I use it on X, their Grok feature, which is basically the same thing. And if you ask it a question like, let's say, I've been having a sore throat for a few months. What could it be? They'll give you what they think it could be, but always at the very end. We are not a medical
disclaimer.
professional.
Right. Yeah.
If it's really bad, you really should go to a doctor.
Right. We've just
Same thing with financial advice.
Yes.
We are really not a financial
So, but-
advisor.
Right. You should call a
Check with
professional.
yours.
But
Exactly.
when you think
But does
about
Chat GPT do that?
when you think about yes, it does.
Okay.
And when you think about the immense, unbelievably large pool of information this thing is drawing from,
Yeah.
It's scary.
it's probably better than a financial advisor or a
It is-
doctor.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about like I mean, it's no different, I guess, than Google searching things or whatever. But I thought, oh my God, this database. All they're doing is taking all of your inner thoughts and
So you know, how
Storing
you used to be able to ask the phone, "Hey,
Siri.
Percy,
Percy.
tell me how can I find this?" item?"
Yeah.
Now it starts to say, "Would you like me to use ChatGPT?"
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times it can't
Wow.
answer the question anymore, so it's actually deferring to
Something else.
Something else.
The
yeah.
other thing ChatGPT does, and I'm sure other AI does too, is when it answers your question, it comes back with a follow-up and says,
Yes.
would you like me to provide you a chart of this? Or
Yes,
would you like
that-
me to provide
Yeah.
more nuanced information?
Yeah.
Would you like
Grok
me to...
does that too.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
it's
All
very
right.
interesting.
I am
But-
fascinated by the grammatical accessibility. So if you're drafting something for work, and I'm still trying to hold out and use my own words, but you can dump it in and have just do a quick grammar check. And if you're
Sure.
a one-person show like I am, it's like nice to have that
It's
second set of
perfect.
eyes, right? So you dump it in
Yep.
and it kicks it back, and it might fine tune a few things, and you're like,
Never,
Thank you so
I
much.
don't use it for grammar check because Word will do that generally, but I'll copy it into ChatGPT, and after I copy it in, I just put the word edit, and it will change the whole thing and make it much more professional.
Even Facebook does that now. If you want to type something out, and then down at the bottom, it'll say, all right, you want to check for grammar. Do you
Yeah.
want to make it more profound? Do you
Right.
want to make it funnier?
But
you
then,
want to make
so
it
how do
shorter?
this goes back
Yeah.
to the college conversation. So I'm not remembering what school it was having an issue with one of the professors, like doing their
I think they all are.
student feedback and using.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I thought, well, what's wrong with that? If they're doing what you just outlined, right? If they're drafting like a response to a kid's paper, and then they say, okay, now I wrote it, but I'm going to dump it in here. Can you just make it a little more jazzy, or can you shorten it for me, or can you? What's wrong
Spice it
with
up.
that?
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, if it's there and it, how do you draw the line?
Yeah.
I once actually wanted to do a letter to the editor, and I limited to 500 words, and I literally put in my thoughts, just general thoughts, and I said, prepare 500-word letter to the editor. And it did. 500 words exactly.
So the problem I have with this, I don't know if we have time for me to keep going into this. You're like ready to hit a button. But I was talking to my husband, which I've shared. He works in college athletics, and he's in charge of marketing. And I am finding myself struggling because I feel like there's already so much demand, right? Like more social media posts, more website updates, more this, more that, right? And you sort of say to yourself, now that you have this access to this tool that can help you and kind of move things along quicker, it's like, when does it ever stop? Like everything is more, it's just, it's becoming this well, it's not becoming. It already is this out of control circuit of.
I don't know if it's out of control. It's not gonna stop. You will someday probably simply have your robot in your house, and
Your
you'll
personal assistant.
simply speak to it and ask it to do things for you.
All
And
right.
it will do it.
How did ChatGPT work out when you're asking it for how do I get a boyfriend?
Oh, so what I did, my
I
coworker,
know, your coworker.
and it wasn't a question like that. It was
Oh.
more like, went on a date. This is what happened. Do you think
look
that I
good.
should hold out for the call or not? Like, it was one of those
Oh,
silly
that's-
ones.
and what's the answer?
And going back and forth. I don't remember what it was, but she was very satisfied with the advice that
The
ChatGPT was
gave
giving
her?
her versus mine. And I was like, what? She's like, well, that's not what they told me to do. And I'm like, I'm done. It's
They're-
over.
They're the experts,
But,
All right.
yeah.
We got to take a break. So, Tim, time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union, please.
Thanks, Joe. Hey, running a business is a labor of love, and more often than not, you are stretched for time. So let us handle your transactions and cash management needs so that you can focus on other things that running your business requires. For example, we have remote deposit capture for businesses, so you can deposit all your checks right there from your office. Auto books, we can handle your payment processes and ACH collections to help you receive money better to your organization. Merchant payment processing, remote deposit capture, I think you said that, and smart safes. All these things are part of our cash management offering that we now have at Navigant Credit Union under the direction of Brian Pereira and his great team. They do a fantastic job at helping you run your business, large or small. So if you'd like to learn a little more about that, visit us at navigantcu.org, or you can call us at 233-4700. Ask to speak to somebody on the cash management team.
All right, Tim, and more of the Coffee and program will continue right after this.
Join the Coffee and panel weekday mornings at 8 on ON Radio. Oven hot pizzas, great tasting subs, fresh salads, and delicious dinners are freshly prepared daily at Elm Street Pizza in Woonsocket. If you haven't tried their signature pepperoni pizza, then you're missing out. Stop in today to Elm Street Pizza. That's Elm Street Pizza.
Dave, where are they located?
On Elm Street. Are you listening? 596 Elm Street in Woonsocket, to be exact. That's why they call it Elm Street Pizza.
Their entire menu can be viewed online, and you can place your order for pickup or delivery at elmstreetpizza.net.
That's elmstreetpizza.net.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
Or you could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, this is Leia Pfeiffer.
And this is Alex Kipnis.
We're organizers on the planning committee for Woonsocket Pride, and we're so excited to invite you to the Woonsocket Pride Festival on Sunday, June 8th, from 12 to 6 p.m. at River Island Art Park.
The day will be packed with music and drag performances, speeches, food trucks and vendors, tables for local organizations, a performance with the flags, and a ton of other activities.
Follow us at Woonsocket Pride on all socials to learn more. We hope to see you there.
We're always here for you, ON Radio.
Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper and John Warden. The president at Brown University got a 2-year contract extension. So she's there until June 30th, 2028. Christina Paxton.
Interesting question that you
All
mentioned, Brown. Good for her. I'm sure she's making lots more money than she deserves. But I got a letter. It's an article in the paper today. I got a letter yesterday, and many other people who have United Health Advantage, Medicare Advantage plan got the same letter. And apparently they are working to negotiate a contract with Brown Medical. Because if they don't, we have to find other
PCPs?
in-network
Oh,
providers.
okay. Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Good luck.
There ain't no hospitals but south of Providence, basically.
Yeah.
For people like me.
Wow.
And it could turn into a disaster. I'm hoping they'll actually be able to negotiate something. But United Health is also having problems with the fact that the Trump administration is messing with Medicaid and Medicare, rather, Medicare Advantage plans and how they go about getting reimbursements and the amounts that they charge and the tests that they allow to go through and the costs. And it's making it very difficult for them to be profitable, so they're tending to change the plans or shift away from them, and it's getting ugly out there.
Yeah.
It's all going to be solved at 10:30.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Our medical
attend that
expert,
conference.
Attorney General Peter Nerone, is going to fix it.
Well, you get time, John. Go to the press conference and ask that question.
Yeah, can you do that for me? That'd be super helpful.
You know
and
what?
then just type up some notes.
I've got something better that would be more enjoyable I'm going to do. I'm going to take my toilet off, and I'm going to reach my hand down and start cleaning out my sewer drains.
It does sound like fun.
More enjoyable than that press conference.
Hey, whatever
All
you
right.
like to do.
That's more fun. I mean, he's the guy.
You
He's
gonna
the
wear a
guy
glove
that
at
took it
least?
upon himself at the settlement on the 610 connector, where those guys didn't go to jail because Peter Nerone is such a nice guy. He didn't send the criminals to jail, but he got them to give him $11 million, 10 of which he personally decided was going to go for dental care for Providence children.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah, that's special. All right, moving on. How about this? A 22-year-old man from Massachusetts facing reckless driving and other charges in New Hampshire. New Hampshire State Police said Brandon Babcock of Salem, Mass. was spotted going 110 miles an hour, 7:45 yesterday morning on Route 93.
Didn't we just talk about this last week?
But it gets better.
Okay.
Oh, I'm cringing.
When the troopers tried to pull him over, he sped up, and he got up to 140.
What was he driving?
It doesn't say. I wish it did.
Yeah.
But he's finally stopped in the town of Windham, New Hampshire. He is free on personal recognizance pending a July court appearance.
That's going to be a very expensive
140.
ticket.
Wow.
Wow is right. I love how you're like a little kid. What was he driving?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
what car can go that fast?
A Porsche.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's a
Corvette.
I think it had the stars and bars on the roof.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the
Maybe.
General Lee.
Maybe.
I don't know. So it's like,
I'm not sure the
Oh
General Lee
my
could have gone that
gosh.
fast. It's got a big engine.
wasn't.
Nothing that
It
wasn't
wasn't
that.
that kind of
No.
But it could fly.
You would think music would come on when you hit 140, though.
I mean,
well, you think so?
93 for all intents
taps.
purposes is a nice road to drive because it's just if there's nobody on it,
When
it's
you get up
smooth
into
and
New
it's
Hampshire,
straight. When you get
Wyndham
way
is-
up
yeah.
top
Yes.
there, it's great. I could see how you could get to that speed.
Well, yeah, I do
There's-
too because it's not very
They're-
windy.
Right.
Not
Not
quite.
until you get to the mountains.
Not quite
Right.
40 in Arizona, but
Wow.
close.
Well, if you're a fan of Bill Walton, former basketball player, played for the Celtics, a lot of his memorabilia is going up for auction. You can own pieces of his basketball career, from his basketball history, jerseys, shoes, signed basketballs. It also showcases things from his life outside of basketball, such as his books, his custom bike, and all his Grateful Dead memorabilia. He's a huge Deadhead. And he brought the team in '86 to the Garden. Larry Bird and Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale to a Grateful Dead show, and they were like backstage or off to the side of the stage behind a curtain, so the crowd didn't know they were there.
Really?
But Bill wanted to bring them to one of their shows.
Well-
and I think they liked it.
We've been
I was like,
watching
oh, that
the
wasn't
Celtics
bad.
documentary. I just forgot the name of it. I don't know, on like episode 3
That's
or
on
4.
HBO.
It's really good. It's really good. If anyone enjoys the history of the Celtics,
Yeah?
I have to say,
there's a lot of
I've-
insight,
I've-
things I didn't know.
I've been watching some clips of Caitlin Clark.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Getting
Not so much
hit?
the fights she's getting into with other people and how she's being abused, but her shooting ability
Yeah.
is incredible.
Are you
she's
just noticing?
No, but I'm saying she routinely stops 10 feet beyond the three-point line.
Yeah, and
and just,
launches it from
and
there.
she doesn't, I remember
It's
Bird
effortless.
used to be, the ball would be up here and then he'd flip it off his hand.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it that way. She
No.
comes from the waist.
Yep.
And she goes up
Uh-huh.
and just pew,
Shoots
pew,
from her toes, that's what we used to
nothing
say.
but net
Shoots from
all
her
the
toes.
time. Well, she's amazing.
She's amazing. I find it fascinating because she's out with an injury right now. That ticket sales, did you see that headline?
Going down because she's out.
Yes. Like 75% down, drop.
Wow, because they just
'Cause
want to
she's
see
out?
her.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players, a lot of
Tiger
veteran
Woods did the
players that
golf.
are really upset right now, and they're defending her, thankfully,
another-
finally. But they're
another
kind of
reason to
saying,
hate her, right?
if you take her out of the game, you're killing our
You're gonna
sport.
kill the
Like you
game-
have to
sport.
embrace these young girls coming in that are drawing attention. They're not. You should not be victimizing them. You should not be.
If they don't do something about the flagrant shots too,
Yeah.
they're going to kill
she's
their own
taken-
sport.
They are.
They're the referee calls are so
or lack of
one-sided
Yeah.
against her team and her specifically that it can't possibly be good refereeing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I was talking to Tim about this earlier. HBO has now cast for the new Harry Potter.
I just saw
Their
the
new
headline.
Harry, their new Ron, and their new Hermione.
Yep.
And I've seen the pictures of it. In case you're wondering, whoever plays Ron does have a red hair.
Of course.
So, as well as he should.
Yep.
The kid playing Harry looks a lot like Daniel Radcliffe at that age, and but Hermione looks African American.
Yeah.
But okay. But I was telling Tim online.
Wait a minute, who cast it?
HBO.
HBO. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not Disney.
No.
No, it's not
Disney doesn't have the Harry Potter
No,
franchise.
they don't. I bet they wish they did. Universal.
Oh, they did. But
I know where he's going.
but Melissa,
Yes.
people online are killing them.
Yeah.
And it's so sad. They're not even giving them a chance.
Mhm.
No, it's the other three.
Yeah.
They are Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
I do find
These
it funny
three,
because they
no
were
way.
kids in the first one.
They were.
They
They
were. So
were
I'm like,
kids
how
in the
much
first
further
one.
back are we rolling here? You know.
They were all. I think all three of them were 11.
And sometimes you just need to leave things alone. Why do
Well,
we have to
that's what-
read?
that's what-
Why do we have to do prequels? And
Well, they're not. They HBO says they're diving more into the book that the first movies couldn't get into because it would be 4 hours long or 5 hours long movie. So they're making it into it's a Harry Potter series. So they're really delving into the books a lot more. That's why they're doing it.
Okay.
So, so there.
I'll
there's
say
Well,
this.
give them a chance, okay?
I'll say this. I did go see Mission Impossible. They did a fairly good job of basically pulling in every other Mission Impossible in the series into the storyline, create a storyline that really you never thought of existing, and they seem to fit the pieces together to make it be part of a line of activity that led up to the final.
That's what my
chapter.
husband said. He took
And
my
it
daughter
was,
to it. He said it was great.
It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty
But
good.
it was 3 hours.
It was 3 hours.
He's like, this is a long
And
movie.
When does it end?
I know.
The thing I admire Tom Cruise for doing all of those stunts himself.
Yeah.
It was amazing some of the things he does. But
The running.
the last scenes where he is going after the villain in the airplanes and the biplanes, it's about 5 minutes more than it needs to be. Sure.
We have an ongoing joke in our house about Tom Cruise movies. It always involves running, like awkward running. He does a scissor hand running thing. So when he came home from the movie, it was like, did he do the running?
Oh, yeah,
did
he
he do
did
the
the
scissor
running.
hand running? And
There's plenty of running.
Yeah, my daughter found
Running
that
in
hysterical.
airplanes. There's always going to be running in airplanes in a
Yep.
Tom Cruise movie. Hey,
On the airplane while it's in flight too.
No.
Or down a
They're
street,
he's hanging
or on the
from
top
it,
of
though.
a train, or
Yeah.
there's
But
always...
what fascinated me about that was I read an article about where he consulted with these people who do wing walking.
Yeah.
About
How
we're
to do
doing this kind of scene in this movie, and what would you recommend? And they said, don't do it.
Don't do it. That's what I recommend.
Have you ever done it? No. Would you
Don't
do it?
bother.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your advice. Anyone else and did it
Did
anyway.
anyone? Okay. All right. Any? We're gonna wrap things up pretty quickly. Any fans of Leonard Skinner?
Yeah.
All right. The song "Freebird" came out in 1973.
It's the best slow dancing song ever.
But they finally are putting out a music video for it. Over 50 years later.
It's a music video to free.
Yeah.
Good heavens.
Yep. So it premiered last week. I'll go Google it. The video starts with an older man looking through a photo album, and then it cuts to his younger self on a motorcycle the day he met a woman who would become his wife. Back to present time, the man gets his motorcycle out of the garage, takes it on a joyride like he did in his younger days as the video jumps back and forth between the present and the past.
Is it 17 minutes or whatever the original song
Oh,
was?
that's only the live version. The live version is 17 minutes. The studio version, I think, is 8.
Still.
So
8.
it is still pretty long.
Yeah.
Best
For
slow
that
dance
time,
ever?
for that
I
time,
don't know. I
no.
don't know about that. That's Wonderful Tonight.
It took forever. That's why we liked it, because the song lasted so long.
Well, that's right. All right.
Sounds like
Went to a Catholic school. They'll leave
Sounds
it
like a
for the
car
Holy Spirit.
commercial I think I saw, or a Budweiser. I forget. It's about where this girl has her father's old car refurbished and surprises him with it because it's been sitting in the barn. And
Sounds like
goes
a
back and
Budweiser
forth
commercial.
between goes back and forth between pictures of the past, and
Yeah.
current, and blah blah blah. But yeah, 17 minutes is a good song.
Yeah.
It's right up there with American Pie, but nothing beats Inagata Davida.
Wasn't
correct.
that in the Garden of Eden?
Yeah, but they were so high.
I know.
When they were recorded, that's how it came out.
They did say in the Garden of Eden. It came out in the Garden of Eden.
It sounded perfect in their head.
But it was, I believe, the full side of an album.
Yes, it was. You're right. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the show for today. We thank you very much for listening in. So, Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. See you next week.
Tim Draper, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Joe.
All righty, and John Ward.
Thank you very much, and enjoy the God-given day, and watch out for the rain tomorrow. It should be a little rain, but I got to tell you, it's wonderful to see all those green lawns out there.
It is. That is pretty nice. It's brown.
Especially mine.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. We'll talk again at 2. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember is coming up after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is